Ooh, it's been a while. It's been a while. What's going on, smart movers? Just a little update and a little information about what I'm seeing here. I really wanted to come back when I got 250 subscribers, but I got 232, and that's good enough for me. 2 weeks ago, when my last video was made, I said, I'm at 200. So getting 232 in less than 2 weeks, it shows me that the information is viable and you guys are digging it. So I appreciate that. Also, subscribers, if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. But this video is going to be a little different because we're going to talk about leveling the playing field a little bit. What we're seeing now in the industry, in the markets and business, even in employment careers, is that everyone could really adapt and move forward with the information that's flowing in. There's tons of information. I mean, before, maybe 10 years ago, information was still kind of scarce and gate kept. And now we're seeing that quality information is sometimes coming through. There's still some bad information out there. Don't get it wrong and don't get it twisted. But as far as you acquiring information, getting information that you need, you could literally type and you got it, so the information is abundant. But there's levels to it, and the playing field needs to be leveled even more. So what I came across was, and the reason why I came across this was I had a little survey on my website, and for my subscribers on the newsletter, the Smart Movers Club newsletter, I put out a survey and I asked, what do you guys want? What's the content that you guys want? What do you need? I really wanted the demographics of who's subscribed to the list. But I put in the information that they care about. And what the majority of the folks said that responded was they want investment, sort of like they want to win. They want to win. That's what I'm getting from it, is they're focused on more investment, making money or moving money. And I said, oh, wow. All I do is report on the taxes, the cost of living, housing there, the market. And I'm like, man, I need to shift that and go deeper for my people, for the smart movers. So that's where I've been into the last 2 weeks, because I was vibe coding, MVPing, N8N, lovable, all of these things. And I finally figured out how to use coding. I'm not a programmer. Don't get it twisted. I'm not a programmer. I do understand some basic language in the internet space and on computers and stuff. But as far as just sitting there writing code all day, that's not me. And I do want to give a shout out to all the code writers, the programmers, the C++, the Linux, the JavaScript, all of those folks from back in the day before AI that had to sit there and actually write code. My hat's off to you, because I'm using AI to write it. It runs an error. AI figures out the error, debugs it, writes it again. And all I'm doing is kind of directing the way that I want it to look, directing the functions that I need. So shout out to all of those folks that are real programmers out here that sat here and typed all of that language to get programs working back in the day. All right. So let's talk about what I learned over the last 2 weeks, and I'll try to keep this short. And this really inspired and sort of like a baseboard to create what I just created, right? So I was watching YouTube. I was watching some shorts. I came across this one short, and this gentleman said, listen, I hire one person. He's a private equity guy. So he was like, I hire one person in my business, and all that person does is, when we get pitches, when we get pitch decks, when we get companies or people that want to invest or whatever, or selling their company, selling their idea, selling their models, selling whatever, I have one person that I have in the company that checks to see if it was written by AI, and then I don't even get to page 2. We toss it out. Bye. See you later. Not a lot of comments in the short there. I had to jump in because, again, this is a private equity, big money. The tables that this guy probably does deals on, is huge. We're talking corporate, we're talking venture capitalists, we're talking huge, big money. We're talking $1 million deals plus, right? So I get it. There was a language predating AI. There was a language predating this influx of information that we didn't speak. There was a language that the individual investor couldn't understand. There was a language that the startup company, you just blood, sweat, and tears, bootstrapped, you didn't understand how to speak this language. So what he's basically saying in that short is that if you decide to use AI in your pitch deck, he's not moving to page 2. But what I'm saying is these motherfuckers are scared. They're terrified because the young guy in the basement, the woman that pivoted her career and decided to learn prompt engineering, start her company, or decided to pivot in finance, or decided to do whatever else. They're using AI, they're using it quicker, they're learning faster, they're taking these courses, they're dropping bombs on these guys' heads. And these guys' heads used to gatekeep that corner of the market that produces and that circulates that type of money, the big money. And I'm not saying you're just not going to know what you're doing and then approach a private equity, approach for funding and investment. The baseline is you want to be able to speak their language. There's a whole different language that those players are playing with, okay? And they could kind of dissect you immediately previously if you didn't know the language, if you were speaking foreign to them. But now with AI and all these tools and all these things that are at your fingertips that are really accessible, you're speaking their language and they don't know how, okay? And they're like, why? They used to corner the market, but now the playing field is leveled and they're terrified. So shout out to y'all for learning that thing, for doing that thing, for starting up that thing. Even if it's in tech and you have no idea where to start, you want to build the app, whatever it is, you're taking that step and you're doing it. That's scaring these motherfuckers, right? Because the kid in the basement, the community college dropout, the person that's too creative for all of this, whatever it is, the investor that wants to learn more about macroeconomics, you got it. You could do it in a month. You could learn it quicker. You could get it. You could have ChatGPT or have any AI teach it to you like you were 5 years old, so you could get it. Maybe it was the teachers that you had. They didn't make it interesting. So whatever it is, I commented it on that gentleman's post. And of course I said, you guys are terrified. You're scared now. All right. So with that being said, so the two jump boards, the springboards that really propelled me to this video and to what I'm about to say was the survey that I had, and then B, seeing that. And I realized that, there's some real deep problems that I could solve with the Smart Movers Club. And so with that, we did get smartmoversclub.com. I know we're on Strizzy Report. That was kind of confusing. Go to Strizzy Report. But then I'm talking about Smart Movers. So we got smartmovers.com, and you need to jump on it now. We share the method. You can sign up to the newsletter. It is a free newsletter. That's my goal. Keep it free. But good information, right? High quality information. And what do we do there? Well, it's fun now. This is fun now because it ties into what we've been doing at Strizzy Report, but we're taking it on a real huge level and helping investors, first-time investors, small developers, if you want to get into developing, entrepreneurs, if you want to relocate, remote workers. We're still helping the same base, but we're talking about curated and really telling a story here. And this is how we're doing it. We're tracking big money. We're tracking government contracts. We're tracking corporate moves. We're tracking private equity. We're tracking all of it. We're seeing where they're going. And the vision here with Smart Movers Club is to know what's happening in the future. We already know what's happening now because everybody knows what's happening now. But where is money going next? How can you beat the bigger pocketed folks that are going to come drive you up, drive the prices out, buy up the land, buy up the office space, turn a 200 median home price in that neighborhood to a 400 median because they're bringing in 3,000 jobs with future jobs aligning. They're building a huge data center. I want you guys to know about that first, and that is the goal. So here's what I did. I coded my ass off for about a week and a half and built my internal pipeline that tracks over 1,000 sources. 1,000 plus sources, and we're refining it as we speak, refining it. So the sources that are coming in is from government, SEC, Fred, that's the Federal Reserve, the economic indicators, really a macro economic shifts in markets, jobs, company moves, whatever that moves a location, we're tapping into that and we're seeing why. Is it viable to speak on? Is there a story there going on? Is there more investors coming in? How does this look? Is it a positive signal, a neutral signal, a negative signal? That's the type of information that I want to give the Smart Movers Club. And I think that's the information that they were hinting that they want. So for instance, Blackstone, QTS, they have a data center, little subsidiary under there, but Blackstone pretty much, they're a conglomerate that private fund owns a lot. They're moving into Cedar Rapids, Iowa right now. They just broke ground, $10 billion deal, 3,000 plus jobs. The median home price right now in around that area is $200K. Homes are selling for in 9 days, homes are selling. So we're seeing a hot market there. Something is happening there. Let's see who else is there. So that's the type of information that I give you. But not only that, if you're just the retail investor that wants to kind of keep up with the changes in the market, it's good too, because it's not everything. Excuse me. And I don't want you guys to say, oh my God, I got an email. No, it's pretty much, hey, keep that in the back of my mind. If it comes around, it comes around, but you have a sense of knowing without going through all the research. I'm planning to save you 740 plus hours of research if you're into stuff like this. On a macroeconomic level, I love macroeconomics. I love this right here. Economic indicators. So this is the stuff that I already love. And to develop a back-end pipeline that brings the information to me is beautiful, because now it's there. I could continue just putting out quality information as I get it, but it's only a weekly newsletter. So on the website, smartmoversclub.com, I'll start putting some other stuff on the blog, but I want you guys to be a part of it. And a lot of the information I'm going to be doing on Smart Movers Club YouTube channel. There's no one following it right now. Hopefully you'll be the first. So that'll help us grow. And so my goal is to level the playing field, right? For you, level the playing field, to find information, to pay the best prices, to invest first, to actually be able to hold the cards, right? Hold the cards before we just get dealt the last end of everything. And I'm fed up with that. And you could tell these guys are fucking furious and they're scared. First of all, they held a fiat monetary system. They're still holding on to it for dear life. It's an old system, 1920s, Jekyll Island, big bankers, fiat money, Federal Reserve, central banking, right? They're still holding on to that. Bitcoin came. How could they now introduce Bitcoin? The lovely thing about Bitcoin was that it was a rebel against the markets, that strict system that we had to always plug into for money. So now Bitcoin comes. What do? They want to control that as well. So we have to really look at the field, look at the games people are playing on the field, and how could we determine the storyline, see where we're going so we can invest smarter and move smarter. So if you have money to make or money to move, I suggest that you head over to smartmoversclub.com, smartmoversclub.com right now. Subscribe to the free weekly newsletter. That's all I ask. Just subscribe to it. And maybe one of those things will pop, send off a signal to you close to home, a little further away, whatever it is. and then you act on it. You do your own research, you do your own due diligence on it, and you make a move. That's all we want to do here. Thank you so much for watching. I am Strizzy. Again, smartmoversclub.com. Peace.